Many of you have heard or at least have seen the high beat movement of a Grand Seiko. It's pretty well known now. Grand Seiko's high beat movement basically oscillates at a high frequency of 36,000 vibrations per hour, 10 beats per second. Instead of a ticking motion you see in regular watches, it does a smooth, sweeping motion. The 1969 Zenith Primero was the first automatic chronograph with a high-frequency sweep, 5 Hz or 36,000 vibrations per hour, but it still ticks 10 times per second, whereas the Grand Seiko spring drive glides with true, continuous motion. This is why the Japanese always amazes me, to be honest. The Seiko Lord Marvel. It was first introduced in 1958 by Seiko's Suwa Seikosha factory in Nagano, Japan. Its main purpose for its creation is to be Seiko's very high-end luxury dress watch. I will be using the Seiko Lord Marvel 36000 as an example. This watch was produced for only a decade between 1967 and 1978, making it pretty rare if you try to find it nowadays. It basically is one of the most historically important Japanese watches ever created, housing the legendary hand-wound caliber 5740C. This movement is the first high-beat movement produced in Japan, operating at a blistering 36,000 vibrations per hour, 10 beats per second. It's actually pretty crazy if you think about it. That's more than 50 years difference. Most watches and watch brands nowadays can't even compete with that. That is a milestone in it itself. In the 1950s and early 1960s, standard mechanical wristwatches beat at 18,000 VPH. That's 5 ticks per second. That was pretty standard at that time. Why does this matter? It matters because higher frequency equals greater stability against external shocks, wrist movements, and positional variance, which means the seconds hand doesn't jump. It glides effortlessly across the dial, the same thing you see on Grand Seikos. In late 1966, Swiss brand Girard-Perregaux introduced the first 36,000 VPH watch with the gyromatic caliber 32A. Just months later, in early 1967, Seiko became the second manufacturer in world history to introduce a 36,000 VPH caliber to the market, the caliber 5740C inside the Lord Marvel. Seiko didn't just stumble into high-frequency watchmaking overnight. The Lord Marvel moniker went through 3 distinct technical evolutions. First was in 1958, it was 18,000 VPH. Sitting in the mid-range luxury tier, just sitting above the standard Seiko Marvel line. It represents Seiko's commitment to in-house movement development, bearing the hand-engraved Seikosha Lord Marvel branding on the movement. After more than 10 years, they upgraded to Lord Marvel with the caliber 5740A, 18,000 VPH, derived from early Grand Seiko architecture. In 1966, Seiko updated this movement to the 5740B, bumping the speed up to 19,800 VPH and introducing refined fine adjustment regulating devices. The technical learnings from the 5740C served as the direct foundation for the legendary 1968 Grand Seiko 61GS series. On paper, a 35mm dress watch might sound small by today's standards, but thanks to its 41mm lug-to-lug length and sharply faceted lugs, it wears with substantial presence on modern wrists. Seiko offered 2 primary dial variations for the 5740C Lord Marvel. First being the Sunburst Silver/Champagne dial. It features clean, applied baton hour markers with subtle black enamel inlays. Second being the Linen Texturized dial, where it features crisp, applied Arabic numerals, widely considered by collectors as the most charming variation. Notice the dial printing. Seiko is applied at 12 o'clock, while Lord Marvel 36,000 is printed at 6 o'clock alongside the Suwa factory logo emblem. There's a common myth surrounding vintage high-beat watches is that they wear themselves to pieces due to friction. Because the balance wheel oscillates 10 times per second, components experience higher acceleration. However, Seiko designed the 5740C with hardened escapement components and optimized oil reservoirs. When serviced properly by a competent watchmaker, these movements are exceptionally durable and can easily maintain time within near chronometer standards. Since this watch is pretty old, there are key maintenance considerations you have to consider. There is no hacking function. The 5740C is a pure manual wind. The oversized, unbranded crown provides excellent tactile feedback during daily winding. And early 1967 models feature the famous Seahorse or proof casebacks, while post-1970 production shifted to water-resistant markings. At the end of the day, the Seiko Lord Marvel isn't just an affordable vintage watch. It's a piece of living Japanese horology history. You're getting a 36,000 vibrations per hour super high beat movement, engineered by Suwa Seikosha, that beat Zenith and Grand Seiko to the finish line, all wrapped up in a classic, timeless case. If you ask me, as collectors continue to look past the hype and search for true value, these won't stay under the radar for much longer. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Which dial variation of the Lord Marvel takes the crown for you? Drop a comment below, and if you already own one, let me know how it's running. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to dive deeper into classic Japanese watchmaking, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching, keep winding those mechanical movements, and I'll see you in the next one.